So this has been a highly requested video and I'm finally doing it. Let's zoom out real quick so you can see it. Yes, this is the Dragonfire, one of the first ships that I ever bought in Starfield, a 2-layer ship that has no ladders, and I want to teach you how to build it. Let's get into it. The hardest part of this build is this centerpiece right here, because this is just insanity. I've learned so much about creating different types of 2-layer ships over time, and through everything that I learned, this build is probably going to teach you exactly what you need to know so that you can make any type of ship that you ever wanted in this game. So let's get into it. Of course, this ship is rocking the Cabot C3X bridge, so it has 2 layers in it. If you're not interested in that, then exit screen left. But if you're here for this, then let's get into it. So on the top layer, it's just super simple. You can get very, very detailed with this, and I think you should, by applying 2 HopeTech HAB spines into a Deimos captain's quarters. You practically have the perfect build. You could put some HopeTech bracers on either side from here and have this branch out so that this build goes in every direction that you want it to, and have all the layers doing whatever you want them to do. And that is actually what the ship is going to be doing. This ship originally had the top layer, and it was like just a loop-de-loop. Like you could go from the Deimos captain quarters into the infirmary, into the Tayo science lab, and come back into it. It was pretty insane, but I ended up changing up that design a little bit. So let me explain to you exactly how you need to build this and what it entails. So let's go into the first part of this build. This build is going to be broken up into 4 major sections. The first section is going to be this right here, the centerpiece. I'm going to go ahead and delete the entire top layer so you can see exactly what I'm working with, and I'll explain it to you piece by piece. So many of the pieces from New Hope are extremely important for this build to get done. So make sure you start there so that you can make your life easier in building this ship. On the main layer of the ship, you have this Deimos control station 2x1. On the back end of this, on the right side, you have the Deimos living quarters 2x1 that goes into a HopeTech HAB spine that goes back into the Deimos workshop. And then on the exact opposite side of the Deimos control station, on the left side, you have the Deimos armory, another HopeTech HAB spine, which goes into the battle stations. Down the center of this entire build, you have one of the most important parts of the build, which is the HopeTech HAB spine. Now let's flip over to the bottom. We have a HopeTech bracer you have the HopeTech pipes that kind of line the bottom of the ship, and this ship is surrounded with the Lander 11 landing gears, the STBD from the Stroud Eklund Star Yard. These are pretty important, and you're going to need a lot of them, or you can just hop over to New Hope and throw on the NGs so that you don't need this many landing gears on your ship. It's completely up to you. However, the whole reason why we have this entire scheme down here is because of this right here, the 110 DP Docker bottom. This is a special HAB that is a docker. However, it is not a room of the ship. So this is an extension that we can slap on the bottom of the ship, which allows us to dock from the bottom of the ship, and this room will not have a ladder leading into it. It's absolutely awesome. One of my favorite HABs to use, and it's imperative for you to get the exact build that you need so that you can design the top of the ship and not sacrifice any other space on it. With that being said, you have to surround this docker with a whole bunch of landing gears, as well as you have the J52 Gamma Grav Drive and the Pinch HZ reactor if that's what you're into. On either side, you have the 900T helium-3 tanks on both sides. You don't need that much, but I like to have a little bit of extra fuel. And then in the back, you have the most expensive engines in the game, which come in at the SAL 6830 engines, which, you know, you can have 6 of them. With that being said, you have the Assurance SG 1080 shield right here on top of your Gamma Grav Drive. And you're going to attach some Hope Tech 55 landing gears on either side of your helium tanks just for the look. That's literally all that is. So let me go ahead and put these pieces back on the top here. You're going to have a Deimos hull over here on the right. Go ahead and follow that up with a Deimos hull over here on the left. In the center, you're going to have a Hope Tech riser. And on top of that, you're going to put a radiator. Then you're going to have the Deimos cowling that leads straight into the Deimos captain's quarters, which goes into 2 spines. And that is the entire build. Now on this front end right here, you have the Store Max 40 cargo hold on either side. And to cap those off to make it look nice and smooth, you have the Taiyo braking engines on either side. Now right here in the center is the Hope Tech Hope 4 landing bay. And that is it. You have the hardest part of this ship already done. And this is what's going to stop you from having any ladders on the ship. The rest of the build is attached with different types of cross braces and HABs so that they never touch each other, meaning that you won't be able to spawn any ladders on the ship. So you have 2 layers with no ladders. Once you have that done, you'll go ahead and you can slap on the front of the ship and you'll have this little frog type thing going right here in the center. We do have 2 shielded cargos on this ship. The Gamma 1010 shielded cargo on either side, as well as if you look closely over here, we do have some equipment plates that we picked up from over in the Neon City. And we also attached some scan jammers so that we can get away from those pesky, I guess you would say, contraband scanners. Now, for this next part, it's going to be pretty self-explanatory, but I'll walk you through it. You want to actually take a Stroud cowling 1 LAPT that lines straight up into a Stroud Cap A port aft top. That also lines up with a Hope Tech C, a Hope Tech Cap B midsection. Throw your jammer on top of there. Go ahead and grab a Hope Tech radiator. There won't be any HAB right here because you already have it attached right there, which is the Deimos hull. On top of the Deimos hull, to have it rounded out looking nice and slick, you have the Deimos cowling. And then right behind that, you have your engine. Now, I want you to highlight all of these items once you have them. Once you have them all highlighted, I want you to grab them and line them up exactly in line with the cabot cockpit, as well as having the engine overlap the Deimos hull. Just like that. And that is the whole design for the right part of the ship. Now, you'll do the same exact thing for the left side of the ship right here. So, I'll go ahead and highlight these items and throw them back on the ship. Just like that. From there, you want to go ahead and you want to take this Hope Tech 55 landing gear and you want to slap it on the side of this helium fuel tank right there, and then do the same on the opposite side. Now that alone is the main base of the entire ship already done. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll seal the ship off with the spine that goes on the very tip top of the ship. What we'll do now is we'll go ahead and we'll take the spine of the ship and slap it on. So you have a full-blown spine with, of course, a couple of weapon systems. I have the PBO 175 auto helion beams, as well as the Disruptor 3330A auto helium beams. Not the best guns in the game, but they're pretty dang good. Now this just lines up right in the center, and it goes from front to back. And you're done. That's literally it. That was the whole build in a nutshell. One of the fastest builds we've ever done on this channel. Now we'll come over here because this section is going to get a little bit tricky. So you have a Shroud Cap A that goes on the top, and it's connected to another Shroud Cap A which goes on the bottom. On the bottom end you have the AQ Lander 11 landing gears that go into a Galleon S203 cargo hold that go into the NG20 landing gears wide. This is a 4 thrust landing gear, very important for the build. And this is the Galleon S203 cargo hold, the same as the front, just one more on this back end. From there, you want to make sure that you cap that off in the back with a HopeTech nose B. And then on top of it, we'll round this whole entire ship out with the SAL engine that goes straight into the Stroud Infirmary. That leads you straight into your Tayo Science Lab. From there on the top, you have a Deimos spine with your weapon system of choice. You'll grab a Deimos radiator, grab yourself a Deimos cowling, put another radiator, but this radiator is from HopeTech, and just make sure it's all in line with your SAL engine. As long as you have 2 HopeTech HAB cross braces, then this build is doing exactly what you want it to do. Now, I'll go ahead and highlight all of these items. I'll grab it, and I will attach it onto the ship. Now, if you look very closely, this front cross brace is going to attach right behind that Deimos wing right there. So it'll attach right behind this Deimos ring to this location right here and this location right there. And there you have it. That's it. So on this side you had the Tayo Science Lab and a Stroud Infirmary, whereas on the opposite side you have a Stroud Control Station and a Tayo Living Quarters 2x1. This is probably the craziest build you will ever use in Starfield. It has 116 in ballistics, and that's the Gauss guns that's on this bad boy. I'll go ahead and show you them. These big boys right here, the MKE 9A Auto Gauss guns. I used to call it Gauss, but people got mad, so I say Gauss now. Moving right along, we have the PBO 175 Auto Helion beams. And right here on the top, we got some fairly decent weapons with the Disruptor 3330A Auto Helion beams. This thing is rocking a hull of 1641. You have 116 in ballistics, 79 in the center particle beams, and 59 in the last particle beams. The shield is of course 1600, but this is maxed out. You have 5,970 cargo, 10 crew slots, 30 light years of jump, 98 mobility, 130 top speed, and a mass of 4,305. My favorite thing about this ship is that the landing bay is right here at the front, so it's really hard for this game to glitch you out so that you can't get on your ship. Because 9 times out of 10, the game will automatically try to spawn you right here in this section when you leave it. So it's a good ship to have so that you don't kind of get glitched into it. Walking inside the Dragonfire, you're going to be heading straight into this amazing control station right here that has the entire spine leading into the back end of the ship. You could travel to the front end of the ship right here and go straight into the cockpit, which is self-explanatory. And you have your captain quarters straight down there, down that hallway. The unfortunate part of this build for right now, Vasco will spawn here in the center of this hallway from time to time. and you're not able to get past them, which I think is a huge misstep from Bethesda. However, if you want to remove Vasco from this hallway so that you can go into your captain's quarters, it's actually extremely easy. A little bit tedious, but easy. You'll come down here, go ahead, hop off the ship using the docker or using the landing bay system. Vasco will leave the ship. You'll go back in. And once you walk up the stairs and head around the corner, Vasco is gone. So now you can go into your captain's quarters. Now, if you try to attach these spines to this area right here, you can get some pretty interesting builds and combinations for a spaceship. But I wanted to have all of my amazing items right here on this floor. So that's pretty much what I did. We'll go over here and see this is a living quarters. This living quarters will lead you straight over here. After you take this cross brace right here, you have your pharmaceutical lab. So you can do anything and everything you need. And right behind that, you have the infirmary. All you have to do is walk straight across into this workstation. This workstation has everything that you could possibly need. It has the workbench. And over here on the opposite side, you have the infirmary. Now, once you travel through this long hallway in the middle of the ship, and you walk right over the docker, you're standing in the battle stations area. One of my favorite HABs to date. That leads you straight into your armory. If you cut away from the armory and go over to the left, you have yourself some living quarters. And these living quarters will lead you straight right back into a crew station. And the crew station sent you right back into the battle stations. And that's just it. You have just seen the most insane build you will ever see in Starfield. If you like what we do here on the channel, make sure you smash that like button and sub to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and more things like this for Starfield. This build is extremely special to me, and I hope she treats you right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fly her out to the Serpentis system and put her to the test. Yeah, this ship is different. This ship is different. Heading over to Serpentis real quick, we're going to test out these weapon systems just to see if it can handle itself in a firefight, which I already know it can, but got to show you guys. And then from there, I'll be out of here. Alright, my engines are maxed out, my shields are maxed out, and we got some company. Easy enough. A level 54 just got completely deleted. And then, hold on, let me chase this man down. Yeah. There's not going to be too many things in the game. There's not going to be anything in the game that's really going to be giving you any type of drama. If you're interested in my crew, I'll go ahead and show you that right now. I have Kepler, Barrett, Amari Hassan, Sam Cole, Sarah Morgan, and Vasco. And that right there is the Dragonfire. The Dragonfire has a reactor of 46. It has 10 crew slots, 30 light years of jump, 3040 shield, 116 ballistic, 79 particles, and 59 other particle beams. It's saying it's worth 935,200 credits, but I think it's worth a little bit more than that. And it's one of my favorite ships that I've ever created on the channel. If you like what we do here on the channel, make sure you smash that like button and sub to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and more content like this for Starfield. This is your boy M of M Sage D. For now, I'm out of here. If you stuck around, you want to see a shopping list. So I'll go ahead and try to do my absolute best to give you the best shopping list that I possibly can by snatching some of these items off of it so it makes it easier for you to go find them. Let's get into it. All right. Now that we're landed down on Jemison in one piece without breaking the game, let's try to break down all the parts of the ship so that you can build it. So let's first talk about these engines. You have the SAL 6830 engines, as well as a Pinch 8Z reactor, and a J52 Gamma Grav Drive. A lot of these pieces are actually from Stroud, so in order for you to either build this, you might want to steal yourself a Galbank ship or attack some type of Varun Vigil level 3 so that you can get a lot of the pieces to that ship and build this one. If you don't necessarily have time for that, then you can do a lot of hopping. You can head over to Neon City to grab a lot of the Stroud pieces. You can head over to New Homestead to get the Cabot C3X bridge. A lot of these items can be found right off of New Hope. So you can get the Hope 55 landing gear from New Hope. You can grab these Hope Tech HAB cross braces from New Hope, as well as a bunch of other pieces from New Hope. Make sure when you're on New Hope, you grab these Hope Tech radiators. You can grab these Hope Tech Hope 55 landing gears from New Hope. Of course, to get all of these Deimos pieces, you're going to either have to go to Jemison or Deimos, because this entire outline of the build is all Deimos pieces. The Deimos radiators, as well as the Deimos cowling and this Deimos spine, can all be found in either Jemison or Deimos Star Yard. You're going to have to pay yourself a visit over in the Red Mile and see Mr. Anderson, so make sure you get familiar with him. You also have the Hope Tech battle stations right here, 2x2. If you're interested in this HAB, you could switch this HAB out with a 2x3 HAB so that it takes up this whole back end, but that's completely up to you. From there, we have the Hope Tech Cap B mid, but the Hope Tech HAB spinal pieces. All of your landing gear can be found on any Star Yard. You can grab these Tayo braking engines over in Neon, and you'll be able to assemble this with these. This is your boy Emma Sensei HD. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash that like button for me and sub to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and anything else like this for Starfield. This is your boy Emma Sensei HD. For now, I'm out of here.